Lindsay, can you answer a question for me?
Well, I'd be happy to. Aubrey, what's the question?
So, we're able to interview so many interesting guests here on All Ears English, and I would love to know what is something you learned recently from a guest?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I was able to, so at the podcast conference last year, I met these two lovely ladies, Laura Beth Peters and Lainey Stubblefield, and they have the coolest podcast. You want to know what it is, Aubrey?
Yes.
They have a podcast called Steel Magnolias Podcast, and they talk about Southern American culture, meaning not South America. I mean, the Southern U.S. culture. And I know a lot of people that are oddly fascinated, or not oddly, just genuinely
Just
fascinated with Southern U.S. culture just because it is so exotic for someone
Yes,
from
I've
the
heard
West.
of this podcast. I have friends who listen to it just because
Okay.
they love the South. Yes.
Yeah. So the reason I met them is that their show, they volunteered their show to put it up on the big screen at one of the events and have it picked apart by experts. Like, here's what you could do better. And I thought they were very brave. So I just went up to them and said, hey, that's awesome. Really cool what you guys are talking about. Let's get you on All Ears English. So they came on. We had one of those rare 3-person interviews that we rarely
Awesome.
do. And they taught us a phrase, taught our listeners a phrase. That phrase was, that dog will hunt, right? And this one, do you know this phrase? Because I didn't know it
I
until
haven't
met
heard that
Laura
episode yet. I
Beth.
cannot wait to
Okay.
hear that interview. But no, I haven't
Did
heard
you
that.
even
What does
know
that
we
mean?
interviewed them?
No, I didn't. I didn't know that. That's so
That's
exciting.
Yeah, they're fantastic. That dog will hunt. So it means that something will succeed. It means it's referring to an idea, a person, or an object that performs well. And they said it in kind of a Southern accent. I think they're from the Nashville area.
Okay. Ooh, interesting. So this is an idiom that's very specific to the
Southern
South, the Southern
culture.
United States.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that. Oh,
Ah,
that's so cool. Thank you for sharing. I'm excited to go listen to that podcast. You guys
should.
definitely check it out if you missed it. And notice Lindsay said when I asked her, if she would answer a question, she said, yeah, I'd be happy to. It's such a positive, friendly way to respond when someone says, can I ask you a question? I love that so much.
Yeah, this is a great thing to say when you're being interviewed on a podcast and someone asks you if you could give your background or tell a story. Yeah, I'd be happy to, right? It starts the interview off in a very nice tone, right?
Yes, right. And this came up in episode 1876, where we were talking about having a can-do attitude. And you had mentioned, I'd be happy to, I'd be thrilled to. And we promised another episode because these are such positive, friendly ways to use both business English and just in your daily life. When
Yes.
someone asks you something, to respond with one of these very positive ways.
Yeah, because it matters how you start something. It matters how you start something and how you end it. What's in the middle is a little less significant sometimes. We talked about that just in a previous episode about business English emails. It really matters the tone that you kick things off with. Right, Aubrey?
Yes, exactly. So we're first going to share some positive responses that you guys definitely want to be using in business English and in daily life. These can-do ways to respond at work. And then we're going to share some sort of joking, playful ways to agree to do something that you're not thrilled about. These are all going to be really fun.
All right, so here we go. Let's start off first with those positive responses for business English, right, Aubrey? So first one, I'm happy to do that, or happy to do that.
Yes, I often will drop the subject and verb I'm, right? And just say happy to do that. Happy to.
Yeah. Yes. And would you do that in writing as well as spoken?
Yeah, in an informal email, definitely, right? That might be all I respond. If you ask me something and I'll just shoot back, happy to. That's it.
Happy
right?
to.
In
Yeah.
a very informal text message or email, definitely.
Very good way to respond, right? What else?
Yes. And then just a little bit of different grammar with the exact same meaning. I'd be happy to, which means I would be happy to. We use these interchangeably, right? Happy to do
Yes.
that. I'd be happy to do that. Same meaning.
Yep. Or I'd love to, right? So that's even a little bit more like you really want to, right? Wouldn't
Yes.
you say?
Yes, right. You're not going to, if you're not really thrilled about a task, but you're willing, you would not respond with, I'd love to. This
Right.
is something that you actually are excited about. It's something that's right up your alley. That's an
Yes.
idiom that means, it is one of your fortes. It's something you would enjoy doing. That's when
Yes.
you'd say this one.
I'd love to do that. Right? I'd love to do that. Right.
Yes.
And then let's get even bigger in our emotion, our response. What is it, Aubrey?
Yes, to say thrilled. I'm thrilled to do that. I'm thrilled to have this opportunity. This is
Yes.
bigger, maybe a promotion, something you're really excited about. Then we
Yeah.
would say, I'm thrilled.
Yes. Or another one that it's expressing you're really excited and it means something deeper. It's a more
Mhm.
profound. I'm honored to do that. Right?
Yes,
I'm honored to
exactly,
do
right?
that.
Like maybe if someone asks you to be a godparent, you could say,
Oh,
I'd be
yes.
honored to do that, or I'm
Mm-hmm.
honored to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, right? It's like you said, it's more something meaningful to you. You would respond with this.
Yeah. Okay. Or another way that's get even bigger, but slightly different in our response, I'd be overjoyed.
Overjoyed. Yes, right. I love that. I'd be overjoyed to do that. And this is similar to thrilled, but
Mm-hmm.
like you said, it is, I feel like, a little more profound. It needs to be something meaningful to you to say, I'd be overjoyed to do that.
Right. Okay. Yeah, for sure. For sure. And of course, the context, if someone asks you to be a godparent, both I'm honored and overjoyed, great. If someone asks you to give like a speech at someone's funeral, obviously you're going to
Yeah.
say, I'd be honored, but you wouldn't say I'd be overjoyed,
Yes,
right?
right. This is more like thrilled where it's going to be something positive, something exciting
Positive.
and happy, right? And it is interesting how they are a little different, right? So
Mm-hmm.
for example, if you think about a promotion at work, you definitely could be say like, I'm thrilled at this by this opportunity. I'd
Yes.
love to accept the promotion. It would be a little strange to say, I'm overjoyed to accept this promotion, right? Because
Right.
it is so much more about happy excitement that it would seem almost a little inappropriate, I feel like.
Yeah, I think that needs to be reserved for profound moments, happy,
Hmm.
profound moments in life.
Yes, I
Giving a
agree.
speech at someone's wedding, or as you said, godparent, playing an important role.
Yeah, it's actually so fascinating how the context for these different phrases, they seem so interchangeable until
Mhm.
you start thinking about how we use them.
They're
Some we
not.
really wouldn't use in business English, or at least for only for very big things.
Yes, exactly. We need to know context for everything. That's why on All Ears English, guys, we show you connection, but we also show you context. Yes. Moving into number 2, Aubrey, when it comes to joking or playful ways to agree, but to share that maybe you're not exactly thrilled.
Exactly, right? So here's our first example to say, I'll do it, but I'm not happy about it. I do this all
Ooh.
the time. Like if I'm asked to do something I don't want to do, I'm going to be playful. I'm going to make this joke to be like, okay, I'll do it, but I want you to know that I'm not happy about it.
And you make sure people know that. I love
Yes.
it. Like if you're asked to participate in the ride in the carpool, like
Yeah, no, I want to do carpool so I don't have to drive every time, right? But this actually happened recently where somebody wanted a mom to be able to join the carpool who lived very far away.
oh,
And
that's
I
a good
probably
example.
said this. I'm like, okay, I'll pick up her son, but I'm not happy about how far away they live
Yeah,
because
that's
it's
not fair because
adding
then
so much
every
time.
time the other moms, everyone has to drive further, but she only
Hmm.
has to drive further once. Not fair. Not fair.
Exactly, right? Or you
Yes.
might say if you're given a challenge at work,
Mm-hmm.
but it's you don't have the time, it's really going to put a lot of pressure on you.
Yeah.
You could still be sort of playful in how you let someone know like I'm willing to do this, I have a can do attitude,
Yeah.
but you maybe you've expressed to them that it's going to be really difficult or a little bit out of your realm of expertise. This would be a playful way to say something like I'm up for the challenge, but I'm not thrilled about it.
Yeah, for sure. I would reserve this though to talking to your colleagues, not the person that asked you to do
For
it, right?
sure,
Not like your
friends,
manager.
right?
Yeah. What would you say to your manager, right? I'm up for the challenge.
I think
Yo,
it would go back to that can do attitude episode where we're just going to
yeah.
say, will do, can
Right,
do.
will
I'm
do.
up for the
I'll make it
challenge,
happen.
right?
You would
I'll
just
make it
you
happen.
would frame it a little differently, right? If someone's asking you, they know that you're asking you to go out of your comfort zone, right? But they don't want to hear the emotional
Totally.
aspect of it. They just want to hear how you're going to make it a challenge you're going to work up to and live up to, right? Yeah.
Exactly, for
Yeah.
sure. It always depends on the relationship, you guys. Whenever we talk about how informal or formal to be with business English, that's the first thing to think about is what is the relationship?
Yeah.
How close are you? Are you friends? Are you, is
Yes.
it a supervisory
Yes.
relationship? And that will
Yeah.
always affect your tone and the vocabulary, the phrases that you use.
100%. 100%. I love it. So good. This is a very broad episode, but it's good, broad in a good way, Aubrey, where, these things can apply in different aspects of life, but it's all about an attitude. a
Yes.
positive attitude. So, yes.
Right? Having that can do attitude, having those positive ways to respond,
Yeah.
which whenever I ask someone to do, how much more grateful am I if someone responds with, I'd be happy to. I'd love to do that instead of, I guess, right?
Gosh. Yeah. You want to make life simple for people, make it easy, make it joyful, right?
Yes, exactly. Let's do a little role play here. In this role play, Lindsay, you and I are dividing tasks for an upcoming service project. Want to start us
Okay.
out?
Love it. All right. Would you be able to send the invitations?
Absolutely. I'd be happy to do that. And can you arrange carpooling?
I'd love to. Good idea to set up a carpool. Would you be able to drive?
Yes, for sure. Happy to drive. So put me down for that. Let's go for a treat after. Want to pick a place?
I'd be thrilled to pick an ice cream spot for afterward. I would definitely
Nice,
choose ice
right?
cream for sure.
I love that. I think it's such a good point that yes, thrilled is for bigger things, bigger emotions, but it can just also be that you're excited to pick a place to go get ice cream.
Because
You
you want to have
absolutely
ice
can be
cream.
thrilled about that.
That makes me think of the ice cream shop Serendipity. Did you ever go there on the Upper East Side when you lived in New
Yes.
York?
Yes, and you can order something that has gold leaf, like gold in the dessert, just to eat gold, I guess. We had to get it, like when in Rome.
That's so fun. That's a famous ice cream shop. I hope it's still there. I hope it's there
It
forever because
probably
it's
is.
yeah, and it's
It was
featured
always
in that
packed whenever we
movie.
walked by.
Packed, probably mostly with tourists who saw the movie Serendipity
Probably.
and they wanted to go to the ice cream shop. So guys, check it out if you're in New York. Head on up to the Upper East Side. It's around like East 60th or something, and go have an ice cream, a little ice cream sundae. So fun, so cultural. Love it. Okay, what do we use here, Aubrey?
Yeah, so let's go through this. The first thing you had asked if I would send invitations, and I said I'd be happy to do that. And this
Yes.
is where we have the whole thing. We're not dropping any words. We do, right? You'll hear it both ways.
Yes.
Where elsewhere in the role play you see we drop some words, but sometimes we will say the whole thing. I'd be happy to do that.
I'd be happy to do that. And then you asked me, and can you arrange carpooling? I'd love to, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And
And
I'm being
then you asked
genuine there too. I'm not being
yeah,
sarcastic.
definitely, right?
Yeah.
I'd love to. And because you're like, good idea to set up the carpool. I don't want to have to drive every time.
And then I said, would you be able to drive?
And I said, yeah, for sure. Happy to drive. So this is where I'm dropping the subject and verb and just saying,
Yes.
happy to drive. Put me down for that. Meaning
And that,
this is a native expression that means sign me up. Put me
and,
down for that. Like put my name on the list.
and I almost feel like that's becoming more and more common, dropping this subject. At least in my language it is.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe I'm just getting lazy or something. But happy to drive, so
Just to
much more
save time.
common in
We don't
spoken
have
English.
time to say
Yeah,
the
we don't have
subject and
time.
verb when it's understood.
Yes, exactly. So guys, that's how natives say it. And then you said want to pick a place, and I said I'd be thrilled to pick an ice cream spot. That's because I get to choose what kind of dessert we're gonna have now.
Exactly, right? You're letting me know, like, if you're choosing me, I'm picking ice cream.
Ice cream. Michelle would take us for like hot cookies. I know she would.
For
She'd take us for
sure.
cookies.
I'm down with Michelle there. I always choose cookies over ice cream too.
Oh, no.
I heard that on a recent episode. You guys were talking about that. She's like, I'd rather have cookies.
No.
It was pie or cake. You're like, choose pie or cake, and she's like, cookies.
Yeah. Well, what
Neither?
would you choose between pie and cake? I always have to know. I have to know pie or cake.
I like
for
cake.
You,
There's a
Aubrey?
place here in Phoenix, and I think it's elsewhere in the United States called Nothing Bundt Cakes. Do you have it in Colorado?
Nothing
They're
bundt
bundt
cakes.
cakes, and
Bundt
they're so
cakes.
moist. They make them with either Greek yogurt or sour cream and pudding, so they're very dense and moist.
Wow.
After I had that, I'm like, I will never eat any cake but this ever again. Everything else is so
Interesting.
dry.
Cake can be really dry. That's why I'm a pie girl. At my wedding, we served pie, not cake. It's very traditional to serve a big fancy cake. We were like, no, we don't
I
like
love that you
cake.
did
We
pie.
like pie and ice cream. It was
So
fantastic.
fun. I
We
do
had-
make a mean cherry pie at Thanksgiving, though. My mom was really good at making homemade pie crusts, and she passed that down to me. I do like pie,
My gosh,
but not
cherry
store-bought pie. It has to be a homemade
Oh,
pie.
I think we could talk about pie for the next 30 minutes. Cherry pie is one of those pies. You find it everywhere, so it's very commonplace, but sometimes if it's good, it is so good.
It
You know
can
what I
be
mean?
so bad, like at a grocery
And
store.
so good. Right, exactly.
Or
exactly.
so good. It's
Oh.
crazy.
Okay, clearly we're passionate about pie and bundt cakes. Me is not as much the bundt cakes, but all right, this is good stuff. Good stuff. Aubrey, let's leave our listeners with a nice takeaway. I think they're gonna go get a slice of pie now, but
Yeah, let's hope, right? I want a slice now. Yes, guys, this is such an admirable skill in business to have a positive attitude, to have that can do attitude we talked about in that recent episode, but you need the vocabulary to do it, right? So today's phrases can give you that, the language you need to be positive at work and in life.
I love it, guys. So start off positive, finish positive, and then you have this substance in the middle. But, I think this is somewhat cultural too, but there's nothing, that you can never go wrong by being positive towards people, right, Aubrey? You can never go wrong.
Exactly, right? I feel like there's too much negativity in the world. We have to
Yeah,
fight that with the positivity that we choose to bring into the world, definitely.
I really think so. I love it. So good. And that is the way to connection. And don't forget the pie.
Yes, and pie.
All right, Aubrey, good stuff. I'll talk to you very soon.
All right, bye,
Take
Lindsay.
care. Bye.